Yes, good evening to everybody. Welcome to the class for the Muslim law, that is F2M, for the student, those who are going to sit the examination on 6th December from 2 to 5. And I already posted that tomorrow also morning class is there. That is a webinar, or we can say virtual class, special class on the inheritance, or we can say succession under Muslim law. So don't miss it. And he's an expert person and who did his PhD in the Muslim law from the Acharya Nagarjuna University. And his name is Professor Tida Nagabhushnam sir. And he worked earlier in the University of Dairdawa, Ethiopia. Of course, he is from Mangalagiri, which is near to the Vijayawada and Guntur in the middle. And he also worked as a principal in the several years in the DNR college also. And he's going to deliver the lecture tomorrow from 10:10 to 11 on the inheritance under the Muslim law. Okay, now, Sampasala, if you are present over there, then please read what I put on the screen. Unmute and read what I put on the screen, please. Hurry
Hiba,
up.
gift under Muslim law.
Good.
Hiba is a transfer of property by act of the parties and not by operation of law. It
Good.
means that any transfer of property done by the court of law or any transfer of ownership by the Muslim law of inheritance will not be considered as hiba.
Yes, that is the Professor Dr. Muhammad Saif. And what is hiba? Hiba is nothing but a gift, but there is a slight difference between the hiba and gift. Because gift will be undertaken, means come under the Transfer of Property Act 1882, but where the hiba is exempted under the Chapter 7 of the Transfer of Property Act 1982 or 86, if I not be mistaken. So that is the thing. So in our syllabus, we have the definition of a gift, requisition of a valid gift, gift formalities, revocation of the gift, and kinds of the gift, and distinction between the will and gift. So now we will see the major things which are needed for us. So in the introduction, a Muslim can devolve his property in various ways. Means a Muslim can transfer his property in different ways. That is the meaning of it. So devolves means transfer here, pass on to somebody else. Muslim law permits the transfer of property inter vivos. So there is a transfer of property would be there in the Muslim law, but the two parties should be alive. That is called inter vivos. Or the gift through the testamentary disposition. Here, a testamentary disposition means nothing but a will. A disposition of inter vivos is unrestricted to a quantum. The quantum at a Muslim law is allowed to give away the entire property during his lifetime by gift. Suppose if you want to give the entire property in the form of a gift, yes, you can give it. But theoretically, it can be said, but practically, it is impossible. But only 1/3 of the total property can be bequeathed by will. Suppose if you want to bequeath the property through the will, he can give only 1/3 because Prophet Muhammad clearly said that you cannot give the all, you can keep something. And if you want, you can give in the form of a waqf to somebody else, but under the will, you can give only 1/3. Conventionally, a gift being a transfer of property is governed by the Transfer of Property Act. Actually, it is the transfer of property, gift is a, it should be covered under the Transfer of Property Act 1882. Yes. It is not 86, 1882. But the Chapter 7 of the Transfer of Property Act 1882 regulating the gift does not apply to the Muslim gifts. Suppose the Muslim gifts means nothing but the hiba. It will not be applicable. Which one? Chapter 7 of the Transfer of Property Act 1882. It will be applicable only to the gift, but not to the hiba. Although there is no such a difference between the gift made by the non-Muslim or a Muslim, yet the formalities of the hiba are different from the of a gift made by the non-Muslims. So now what I want to say is gift is a little difference and hiba is different. For the hiba, Transfer of Property Act Chapter 7 will not be applicable. So hiba is governed by the Muslim personal law. That is the what. In yesterday class also I told where this Talaq is governed by the personal law, Muslim personal law, and the divorce is by the statutes or enactments. Let us see what are the other meaning of the gift. If you happen to see the gift according to the Hidayah, I quote, Hiba is an unconditional transfer. Hiba is an unconditional transfer of ownership in an existing property made immediately without any consideration. I unquote, if you happen to see the Hidayah, Hiba is a unconditional, means there should not be any condition in the transfer of the ownership. Suppose if you pass in the first class, then I will give this in the form of a gift to you. No condition there. So unconditional transfer of ownership will be transferred immediately. In an existing property, the property should be in existence. If the property is going to come, that is a different issue. That should be in an existence, made immediately without any consideration. And it should be given without expecting anything from the other party. So who are the two parties? Sampasala, can you tell me?
Who taken gift?
Is called? One person gives the gift. One person takes the gift. So giving the gift, giving person is called, in the terminology of family law, Muslim law, F2M. If you don't know, you say pass on, I will give the answer.
No, don't.
Donor. The person who gives the gift is called donor. A person who receives the gift is called?
Donee.
Donee. Spelling?
Donor, donee.
Spelling?
Spelling Tonee.
You should not supposed to say EE. Professor Hussein's students never say EE. Professor Hussein's students say DONEE. Agreed? Say yes. Okay, now let us see the Amir Ali, what the definition is given by the according to Amir Ali. I quote, a hiba is a voluntary gift without consideration of the property by one person to another so as to constitute the donee, the proprietor of the subject matter of the gift, I unquote. So according to Amir Ali, a hiba is a voluntary, means no conditions are there. With his own mind, no pressure, no coercion, no undue influence. Voluntary gift without consideration. In return, there is not be any consideration of property by one person to another, means the person should be alive. That is called inter vivos. The person called alive, the two persons, means donor or donee, they should be inter vivos, means they should allow. So as to constitute a donee, that donee means person who receives the gift, the proprietor of the subject matter of the gift. Then once the gift is given over there, then who is the proprietor of the property? Yes? Anyone can unmute and give me the answer.
Sir, donee.
Donee, it is clearly written over there. Yes. Now let us go to the, according to Mullah, I quote, a hiba is a transfer of property made immediately and without any exchange by one person to another and accepted by or on behalf of the later. I unquote. Mullah says, a hiba is a transfer of property, no doubt is a devolving the property on somebody else, made immediately, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, immediately, and physically should be transferred over there, and without any exchange. In return, there will not be any exchange. Another property we are expecting from him, or money we are expecting from him, or some money and some property we are expecting from him. No. Some services we are expecting from him. No such a thing. In any exchange by one person to another, means the person should allow. Then person means, again the question comes, whether they are adult, whether they are minor. Let us see in the in a running class. Another and accepted by or on behalf of the later. Accepted means a donee should have to accept it. Suppose a donor has given the property and the donee will reject it, then it is not amount to the gift or hiba. Means donor should be willingly, he should have to offer it without any coercion, voluntarily he should offer and give it to the donee without any consideration, without any condition, and the donee accepts it voluntarily, then only the transaction take place physically, then we can say the transfer is valid and the gift is valid, or we can say hiba is valid. According to 5G, I quote, hiba is the immediate and unqualified transfer of the corpus of the property. Corpus means the physical, without any return. So he is also giving the same idea. Hiba is the immediate transfer and unqualified, without any condition transferred of the corpus means physically some subject matter of the property without any return, means expecting anything in the return. So these are the definitions which are given by the different author under the hiba. Of course, they have given the silent feature of the hiba, how the hiba should be there. Then the silent feature is say hiba is a transfer of property by act of the parties and not by the operation of law. There is no operation of law. If the act of the party voluntarily, it means any transfer of property done by the court of law or any transfer of ownership by the Muslim law of inheritance will not be considered as hiba. Suppose it is not a inheritance where a people will get either testate or intestate. But here the donor will give the property to the donee without expecting anything from him, donee, and without consideration, voluntarily, and the donee accepts it, and the physical transfer should be there, then we can say it's a valid hiba. The second quality is silent feature is a living Muslim voluntarily. Why Muslims? Any person also can do it. Muslim voluntarily transfer the ownership of any property to another living person. Hence, it is a transfer inter vivos. Means the two persons, those who are donor and donee, should be alive at the time of the transaction, and the physical transfer should be done. Third, the transferor means donor transfer the ownership of the property is absolute interest, not keeping any conditionally. Absolute interest should be transferred over there when you are giving the gift. And transferee means donee, gets the complete title in the respect of the property given to him. Whatever the title which is given by the donor to donee or transferred to the transferee, the absolute interest should be given over there. And the conditions or restrictions or partial rights in the gifted property are averse to the concept of hiba under the Islamic law, because there should not be any restriction, there should not be any condition, there should not be any partial rights over the property by the donor or the transferor. Then it is not said to be the hiba. Then the fourth condition is hiba is a operative with immediate effect, not tomorrow or after tomorrow. Immediately the transfer should be taken over there. On the spot it will be there, and the transferor or the donee deprives the transferor of his control and ownership of over the property. Moreover, as the property is passed immediately to the transferee, the property must be in the existence at the time when the gift is made. Naturally, whenever the property in existence, at that instance only transferor will transfer to the transferee, means donor will transfer the property to the donee immediately without any keeping any conditions or any rights over there, and immediate physical transfer should be done. A gift made for the property which will exist in future is termed as void. Suppose the property is going to get it future, then such a gift is void. Immediate transfer should be there. The fifth, another salient feature of the hiba is hiba is a transfer of property without any consideration. Yes, in return we should not expect anything. If anything of any value is taken by the transferor in turn or exchange, such a transfer of property is not a gift. That is not a gift, not a property, because in return you have taken some of things. So these are the certain things where we can say how a gift could be made. Then we will see that what are the valid things for the transfer, valid. So here we could see the valid things in the transfer in another. I made it very much nicely. Yeah, of course, some of the case laws also I put it over there regarding the 5G definitions and in futures. Then okay, requisite of a gift. What are the requisite of a gift? Can anybody will unmute and read, which I put on the screen, so that I could know that we could see the screen and you are with me and I am with you. Quick.
The following are the essentials of a valid gift. A, parties. B, subject. C, extent. And D, formalities of gift.
Yes. So
Parties to gift.
yeah. So naturally there should be two parties to the gift. Is it correct? Yes, definitely. And two parties interview, they should be alive. So that is the first condition. Parties to gift. There are two parties of a gift. One is donor, means transferor. The person who makes the gift is called donor. Most importantly, the donor of the gift must have the conditions. Number one, attain the age of majority as governed by the Indian Majority Act 1875. What is the Indian Majority Act? According to the Indian Majority Act, what is the minority will be completed? Where you will get a majority? Anyone?
Sir, attaining age of 18 years is the majority, sir.
Yes, that is the majority. That means completion of 18 years. That is the wording. Number two, must be of sound mind. Who should be sound mind? Donor. Donor should be attain the majority. Number three, free from fraudulent nature or undue influence. There will not be any coercion over him to transfer it. Voluntarily, he should have to transfer it. Number four, must have ownership over the property to be transferred by way of gift. That means he should be the owner of the property and the property should be in existence. And such property can be transferred by way of the gift to the donee. So now the rule of the Muslim law of a majority, that is attainment of the property, does not apply to gift. Here, the attainment of the property does not apply to the gift because it is clearly mentioned that a donor should have the majority, that means the completion of the 18 years according to the Majority Act. It should be completion of the 18 years, and if the child under the custody of the Guardian and Ward Act 1890, then child should be crossed to 21 years, because when the child is in the custody of under the Guardians and Wards Act 1890, then the majority would be considered as 21 years, we can say. So that is the actually. Now, what about the Parda Nashin lady? A Parda Nashin woman is the woman who observes the rigid rule of the seclusion and is considered valid, but for the burden of proof, it is to be proved that it was not of undue influence and the nature of the transaction lies on the donee. Such a woman have been given extra protection in order to prevent their right and interest. However, the rules of the transactions apply equally to the illiterate and ignorant woman, though not Parda Nashin lady. We have a beautiful case law, that is the latest. The landmark case law is Hussein Bai versus Zohra Bai. The validity of a gift made with the Parda Nashin lady was declared by the court. In this case, Parda Nashin woman lady was brought from the Nagpur to the Burhanpur and on an excuse that her brother-in-law was seriously ill. So with the contention of that one, with the cause of that one, that brother-in-law is seriously ill, and the Parda Nashin lady is brought from the Nagpur to the Burhanpur. And after reaching the place, Burhanpur, she had a fit of hysteria. And soon after it, she was made to sign a gift deed without informing her content of the deed, and no opportunity was given to her to take the independent decision. The court held that the gift is invalid gift because it is signed in the when she was in the hysteria, or the fit of hysteria, and she doesn't know the content of the gift, and hence the court decided that by coarsely, by undue influence, she has signed it. She doesn't know the content of the what is the written in the deed. In this case, the deed was executed from the lady under the compulsion, and it was not her voluntary act, and hence the deed was held invalid. So that is the one of the case law. The another case law, if a gift is made with an intention of to defraud the creditors, the gift is invalid. Suppose there are many creditors are there, and you have a lot of property, but you are supposed to give the property to the, of course, sell the property and give the debts to the creditors, but you want to avoid that selling the property and try to give the gift to the somebody else, then intentionally he is fraudulently given the property to avoid the creditors, then it is a void. That is observed in the Abdul versus Mir Muhammad. And the financial capacity, yes, the financial capacity should be there. Otherwise, how could he give the gift? Can insolvent can give the gift? Answer no. The Indian courts have accepted the view of the Hanafi school that from the fact of indebtedness and embracing the financial circumstances of the donor, it can't be inferred that the donor was a fraudulent intention. Of course, a person who wants to give the gift should know whether he is the property of that gift or not. In every gift, there must be a bona fide intention on the part of the donor. There should not be any coercion. It is a free consent, and voluntarily he should have to give the transfer the property to the donee. There is a transferee to transfer the property to the donee. Evidently, if a gift is made with a malified intention to defraud the donee, the gift is invalid. If there is a malified intention would be there, then that gift would be invalid. What about the donee? Is the another party. The person who takes something gift is called a donee. So it is noted that sex, age, creed, religion are no bar to take the gift. I repeat, it is not that the sex, age, creed, or religion has no bar to take the gift. A Muslim even allowed make a lawful gift to a non-Muslim, such as a Hindu or Christian. However, it is important that doni must be in existence, means he should be or she should be alive at a time of a gift. If the doni is an infant, if the doni is a minor, if the doni is a lunatic, then the gift must be given to his legal guardian. Giving possession to the mother or brother of the doni, not the legal guardian, will make the gift void. Therefore, the principle follows that the gift to minor by any person other than the minor must be accompanied with the delivery of the possession of the father or the guardian of a mother. Guardian of a minor means a father should be a natural guardian, or the father appoints somebody as a guardian at the time that will be a real guardian. Then what about the mother? Mother is not a guardian, he is only a custodian. Okay, what about the unborn person or a child in the womb? A gift to an unborn person is considered void because I told you the interviews, they should be alive. The person is unborn one, then how could you say that they are alive? If once it is given the delivery, then it is viable to stay and is alive, then we can say the gift is valid. But a gift by a father to his minor son is a valid. Yes, he can give the gift to the minor son. This was seen or observed in the Ibrahim Shah Muhammad versus Noor Ahmed Noor Muhammad. Earlier gift of the future usufruct to unborn person was not considered valid, but later this was however not followed. If the gift is given to the unborn person, if a gift is given to a unborn person and such a person born within the 6 months, that is the condition. Born is within the 6 months, then such a gift is valid gift as per the Muslim law. Born themselves the 6 months. Why 6 months? Why not 7 months? Please. Anyone? Unmute and give me the answer. If you don't know, please say pass on. Yes? Why
Hassan,
6
sir.
months? Why not 7 months? Say pass on. I will give the answer. Don't waste the time.
Hassan, sir.
Yes, 6 months they have specifically given because if a woman is a pregnant or not pregnant, only will be known a completion of the 3 months conception. So that is the reason they said is 6 months means at the time when he was giving the gift, the womb, the fetus in the womb. That is the point. That is where the born within the 6 months is given over there. And after the 3 months is over, I don't think that the abortion is allowed. Do you agree? Do you agree?
Sir, question once again, sir.
Can the abortion will be allowed after the 3 months?
No, sir.
Answer no, because 3 months only you have to take it, unless until there is an emergency and there is no danger to the mother. Then only it can be done, otherwise the abortion could not be done. A child in the mother's womb is a competent donee provided that it is born alive within the 6 months. The date with the gift was made, that is the condition put it over there. Whatever the mask, yes, mask or any other institution is considered as a juristic person, thus they are considered to be the competent donee. You can give to the mosque, you can give to the church, you can give to the temple, you can go to the Gurudwara, they are juristic personality. And next, fiduciary relationship. When the donee and donor are in the fiduciary relationship, or the relation is such a one of them is dominating them in case of dispute, the presumption undue influence arises, therefore the gift cannot be held wide. What is a fiduciary relationship? Excuse me.
Money related, sir.
That means teacher, student, doctor, patient, lawyer, client. If such a relation should be there, naturally, there will be undue influence would be there. So gift given by the such people is said to be the void. Then whatever the non-Muslim, yes, gift will be given to a non-Muslim also. No doubt at all. Unsound mind and a minor, yes, they can accept the gift through the guardian. Father is the guardian, guardian appointed by the father, or father's fathers and father's father appointed the guardian. Then it will be valid. Juristic person, just now I told you that mosque, church are said to be the juristic person, and firms and corporations, company, association, union, university, or any other organization comes under the juristic person. A juristic person is presumed to be an adult of a sound mind, like a human being, in the eye of the law, and hence is a competent to receive the gift in the and he will be the donee or transferee in whose favor the gift can be made. A gift in favor of the mosque or temple or school is valid because they are the juristic personality. Then what about the two or more donees? Answer yes. A donee may be an individual or a class of persons. Good. In case of the donee is a group of people, all of the people in that particular group must be ascertainable. Means clearly should be known that these are the persons who are the donees. Then what would be the subject matter of the hiba? Is it a land? Is it a money? Is it what? Islamic law does not make any distinction between the ancestral property or self-acquired property or between the movable or immovable property as far as the concept of the hiba is concerned. Any form of the property upon which the dominion can be exercised means sovereignty, not sovereignty, absolute authority would be there, title would be there, and can be exercised. Many constitute the subject matter of the hiba, both incorporeal or corporeal, tangible or intangible can be the subject matter of the hiba. Similarly, a gift can be made property on lease, a property of the attachment, or any actionable claim. Unlike the concept of the will or wasiyat under the Islamic law, in which 1/3 of total property can be bequeathed by will. But when you want to give to, you can give the entire property in the form of a gift to somebody else. But only theoretically it is possible. Practically, no. Capital N, capital O, bold. Hiba or gift can be made of the entire property, even disinheriting the own family. Answer is only theoretically. Practically, no. Now the question which we have the mind in that can be subject matter of the hiba under the Muslim law as per the provision of the Transfer of Property Act 1882, the subject matter of the gift must be certain existing movable or immobile property because Muslim law doesn't make any distinction between the ancestral property, self-acquired property, and a movable property, immobile property. All property is a property. It may be land or goods or actionable claims. It must be transferable under the Section 6, which clearly mention these are the things which can be transferred, but it cannot be future property. Of course, usufruct they can be given in the form of a gift. A gift of a right of a management is valid, but a gift of a future revenue of a village is invalid. So subject matter also very much important factor. There you have given the subject matter of the hiba, as we said, all the points which I made earlier, it is repeated over here. Then exceptions is there. Gift of such undivided share is valid, which is incapable of division. Suppose if the undivided share is there, at the time we can give in the form of a gift. That hiba by one cohers and other. For instance, a Muslim woman died, leaving a mother, a son, and a daughter. The mother made a gift of her unrealized 1/6 share jointly to the deceased son and daughter. The gift was upheld by the Privy Council because it cannot be divisible over there. At the time, it can be given in the form of a gift. If the divisible would be there, okay, you can give by dividing it very much clearly. So these are the, and one more case that we can see, Nawazish Ali Khan versus Ali Riza Khan. It was held that the gift of usufruct, means which is going to come, suppose it is a crab, it is the mango orchard, mango grove, not orchard, it is the fruit, citrus fruits we can say orchard. For the mangoes we can say grove. The mango grove, usufruct is valid in a Muslim law, and the gift of the corpus is subject to any such limitations imposed to the usufruct being the gifted to someone else. It is further held that the gift of the life interest is valid and does not automatically enlarge into the gift or corpus. So usufruct we can make it out because it is going to be realized. This rule is applicable to both the Shia and Sunni law. Then we let you see the Rahim Bucks versus Muhammad Hassan. It was held that the gift of services is not valid because it does not exist at the time of making the gift. Suppose the services are there which does not exist at the time of making the gift, at that instance it cannot be, at that instance cannot be valid. So that is the point where you can make it out. I heard that somebody is reading something. Yes, Varadaraju Sampasara, do you want to ask anything? Okay, let us see what are the formalities and the modes of the gift. So, number one, a declaration by the donor, that is the formality, because he has to declare that he is going to give the property in the gift without coercion, means voluntary act should be there. There is no modified intention of gift can be taken, otherwise it will be declared void. If the gift is made under the undue influence or coercion or fraud or misrepresentation, then the gift is not valid, because I already told you that the gift should be a voluntarily, unconditionally, or partial restriction or any other right could not be held over there. That is the number one, the mode of it, the gift is passing. That is As oral or written, the donor may be a gift of any kind of the property or orally or through a written deed. Preferably, everything that what you are going to give in the form of a gift should be in black and white. Let us see what is the said in the Muhammad Hesabuddin versus Mr. Muhammad Hesaruddin. A Muslim woman made a gift of her immovable properties in favor of her son. The gift was written on ordinary paper and was not registered deed. The court held that the validity of this such gift in this case as I quote, under the Muslim law, writing is not essential for the validity of a gift, whether it is movable property or immovable property. Therefore, the gift in this case was held to be valid because writing and a registration of a gift are not mandatory requisites to make a valid gift. I repeat again, therefore, the gift under the Muslim law, in this case, it was held to be valid because writing and registration of a gift are not, not mandatory requisites to make a valid gift. Of course, express declaration, yes, a declaration of a gift must be expressly made in a clear words, and the donor is conceding his ownership of the property completely. A gift by an ambiguous words is null and void. So he should have declared very much clearly that what he is going to give the gift, that should be made. Then one of the case law, it is that expressed Maimuna Bibi versus Rasul Mia. It was held that it is necessary that the donor divest, means devolve or transfer himself completely of all the dominion and ownership over the property of gift. The donor must express his explicit intention to transfer the ownership to the donee clearly and unequally, means not keeping any condition. You should have to make it out. Then the next point comes is acceptance by donee, means the person who is receiving the gift is called donee. The acceptance must be made by donee. It can be either actual or constructive, both the way it can be done. Two or more, yes, two or more can be take it in the class, but they are to be specifically made. Then the C is delivery of the position by the donor and taking the position of a donee. A deliveries of the goods are very much important. Physically, should be transferred over there from donor to the donee. So the delivery of position of the donor is really equally essential that I showed you. Then the D, the fourth condition is the different subject of delivery, how affected the mobile property. They say delivery of gift is necessary. It automatically implies a transfer of position physically. In case of money, mere entry in a book or accounts is not enough. The money must be transferred to the donee. Merely writing on the account book is not enough. The money should be transferred physically. In order to complete the gift of immovable property, it is necessary that number one, donor must be physically depart from the premises. Number one, whatever the property is given in the form of a gift to the donee, at that instant, you should vacate it and give the house to the donee. That is, the donor must physically depart from the premises, number one. Number two, donee formally enters the position. He should have to enter it. If the donor receives the rent during the lifetime and pays the taxes, then if the delivery of the position has been given, it will not constitute a sufficient delivery. Suppose if he is taking the rents and giving the position of the property to him, then it is partially given the position of the property to the donee. Hence, it is not supposed to be a gift because conditionally that he has put it over there. Every month he is taking the rent. So that condition should not be there. But the rent is going to be collected by the donee itself once it is transferred. In one of the cases, Noor Jahan versus Muftahar, a donor made a gift of certain property to the donee. Okay, good. A donor made a gift of certain property to the donee, good. But the donor continued to manage the properties. Then why he used to manage? Once it is given, he is not supposed to manage the property and take the profit himself. No, he is not supposed to take any profit because he has already given the ownership to the donee. Till the death of the donor, no mutation was made in the name of the donee. So it is not made very much clear. Means it is not transferred to the donee in a record. It was held that the court has since no delivery of the position of made and the gift was incomplete and ineffective in nature. Because whenever the gift would be there should not be any authority by the donor. It should be completely given to the donee. So that was the thing. So delivery of the thing is very much important. Under the Muslim law, where the mutation proceedings have started, but the physical position cannot be given, and the donor dies, the gift fails for the want of the delivery position. Yes. However, in such cases, if it is proved that although the mutation was not complete and the donee has already taken the possession of the property, the gift was held to be the valid. Suppose position is already taken by the donee, but the mutation is not done over there at the time it is valid. But the mutation was did, but the position is not taken over there, then it is invalid. So that was the thing. Then you read what I posted on the screen. Anyone can unmute and read? Yes?
Kinds of gifts.
Yes.
There are several varieties of hiba. These include hiba bil iwaj, 1 hiba bil iwaj, 2 hiba bi short ul iwaj, third is sadaka, fourth one ariyat.
Yes, these are the kinds of the hiba. Suppose the question asks kinds of the gift or hiba, then you can say hiba bil iwaj. Then next is hiba ba shartul iwaj. Next sadaka. Next ariyat. So in this one it is not that much clear, but I will show you the another case where I made it very much clear. Competence of the donee, donor, hiba, yes, all, oral, I did it. Accept with the gift donee, minor, minor, delivery of position. This given constructive position, benefit theory, no, these are not that much important. Oh, condition, contingent, revocation of gift. Oh, here revocation came. Here I will going to the winner delivery position is necessary. Kanisa Begum, Musha, Binauzer, Musha invisible, Musha divisible. Yes. Gift hiba in Muslim law are the following 4 kinds. Sadaqah, SADAQUA, Sadaqah, hiba bil iwaj, 3 hibaba sharatul iwaj, 4 ariyat. What is sadaqah? Where the object of the donor is to acquire the merit, the eye of the Lord, and the recompense the next world, the gift is called sadaqah. Charitable, which is given for the moksha. If you get it, that is called sadaqah. It is a gift with a religious motive, like a hiba. It is not a valid unless accompanied with the delivery of the position. Why do you give alms in front of the temple? Why do you give alms in front of the church? Why do you give alms in front of a masjid? Anyone?
Sir, please question once again, sir.
Why do we give alms means paisalu, pichagallaku in front of the temple, pichagallaku in front of the masjid, pichagallaku in front of the gurudwar?
Sir, because we get some
Moksha,
punyam antaru, sir. Punyam.
moksha.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So that is
మన
called
ఖాతాలో
sadaqah.
కొంచెం పుణ్యం పడుతుంది సార్.
Yes, that is called
మన
punyam.
ఖాతాలో కొంచెం పుణ్యం.
Yes. So we will give the acquisition of the religious merit and has already been acquired. So sadaqah is the transfer of property right in all respects like hiba, except in the eye of the hiba, we will say the manifestors doni, but in the sadaqah, we don't expect anything. We'll give the alms to him, but in return, that fellow will bless you. That fellow will bless you. Okay, that is called sadaqah. But hiba and sadaqah, once completed by the delivery of the possession, can't be revoked, whether made to a rich or a poor man. Once sadaqah is given, నీకు 100 రూపాయలు ఇచ్చినా లేదు అది 10 రూపాయలు అనుకొని మిగతా 90 రూపాయలు ఇవన్నీ ఇస్తాడా అండి?
No, sir. No.
Answer, once you have given, that's all. Unlike hibas, sadaqah need not be expressly accepted. Of course, sadaqah, they need not to say, just he will take it out, it is a sadaqah. No acceptation is needed. Of course, unless until you will say the beggar, sir, you have given 100 rupees note, please take back the 90 rupees or give me the 10 rupees note. If he says so, okay, it's well and good. But if he doesn't so, then you are not supposed to eat. That is called sadaqah. Once given, that's all. Then hibabil iwaj. Hibabil iwaj is a gift for a consideration. We will expect some consideration here. It resembles like a sale in that a transfer of title is completely without delivery position. All the incidents of sale attached to it, including the liability being reempted, where the law of the preemption is forced, the right to return thing for that effect. To constitute a valid viability, the following 2 conditions must be present. Number 1, actual and bona fide payment of consideration, iwaj, on the part of the donee. Means donee also pays something, either equivalent or less. Something will be given back to the donor. So a bona fide intention on the part of the donor to divest himself in the presentation of the property and to the confer upon him the donee. So there would be an exchange of the sum of the property would be there. That is ibabil iwaj. Literally means gift for an exchange. Ibabil Ivaj means literally means a gift for an exchange. It is of two kinds, namely Ibabil Ivaj followed in India. Ibabil Ivaj is defined in the older jurist. Means one thing to another thing we will get it, that is called Ibabil Ivaj. So let us see the one of the problem. Of course, the problem you can see it because I will give the handout to you. Though you can see the problem how it can be solved, Ibabil Ivaj or not. Then let us go to the Ibabil Shartul Ivaj. There is one condition is there. What is shart? Shart means condition. Ibabal Shartul Ivaj, where a gift is made with a stipulation, that is a shart, was written, it is called Hibabul Ivaj. If the condition is put it over there, if you give your car, I will give my house in the form of a gift. A gift is revocable until the Ivaj is paid, of course. If you give the car, then I will give the house. If you don't give the car, I don't give the house. That is called Hibabul Shart, conditional Ivaj. The transaction, when completed, the payment of Ivaj is, however, not been very. Then the fourth one, last one is Ariyat. An Ariyat is the grant of license, revocable at the grantor opinion, to take and enjoy the usufruct of a thing. The four essential of Ariyat are: can be revoked, yes, it must be transferred for ownership in the property, it must be for a definite period, it does not devolve upon the heirs of the donee and the heir. It is nothing but usufruct. So you can give the mango grew to anybody in the form of a gift to enjoy the mangoes, but not owner of the trees. That is called Ariyat. A Ariyat is a grant of license, revocable at the grantor's opinion. Of course, later on he can revoke it, the person who is going to give it, to take and enjoy the useful Ariyat thing. So Ariyat is nothing but enjoying the right which you are giving to it, but not it. So we will see the gift and will. What is the difference between a gift and a will? But generally the question will be asked: a man can give away, his whole property during the lifetime. The quantum is, but will only 1/3 should be given. But it is not true in the gift. He cannot give the entire property to in the form of a gift. Only theoretically it will be there, but practically none. And the beneficiaries, a gift interval was made, 2% should be allowed and made in favor of any person without any restriction, means that there is no some other thing, condition should be there. For bequeathing more than 1/3 of the property to any person, consent of the heirs are mandatory. You cannot bequeath more than 1/3. If you bequeath, the consent of the heirs are mandatory. Existence of the property gifted must be in existence at the time of the making the gift. Here, the property may or may not be in existence at the time of the execution of the will, but it must be existing at the time of the death of the legator. Here, transfer of property. Under gift, the immediate and absolute transfer of property take place. But here in the will, transfer of property comes to an effect only after the death of the legator. Delivery of possession. Immediate delivery of possession must be take place as soon as the donor declares the gift and donee accepts the same. And here in the will, since the property devolves on the legatee only after the death of the legator, so no question of the delivery of the possession arises. Then the revocation, once a gift is made, a mere declaration to revoke it by the donor is not sufficient. A revocation can only take place either by the consent of the donee or by the intervention of the court. But here, the bequest must be revoked by the legator at the time of executing it and before its death, and impliedly expressly by the subsequent will. So, naturally, the gift cannot be made by the operation of the law. The gift cannot be made. It can be made only on the declaration of the donor without keeping any reservation on the property which he is going to give the gift to the transferor or the donee. So this is the way that we can make it out. In appreciation of you to all that you do, thank you very much for the patient listening. And if you want to ask anything, you can ask me. Still, we do have the 5 minutes in our hand to discuss anything. Narendra Raju, I'm very much thankful that at least that you are present.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Always knowledge, however that you imbibe it, still there is a less or deficiency you will find it. But the person who doesn't, who do have the half knowledge, he will feel that he will have the full knowledge. So that is only the misconception he is having. Yes. Do you want to ask any other things? Still the 4 minutes are left to us. Then I can discuss some other thing.
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
So tomorrow, I told you, a professor is going to come and He is Professor T. Nagabhushnam, ex-professor of law, University of Jayadawa, Ethiopia, present working at the KLU, Koneru Lakshmaya University College of Law, that is the KLEF, Koneru Lakshmaya Educational Foundation, Deemed University, Vijayawada, AP, and he delivered the guest virtual class to the students of law who are appearing for the examination on 6 December 2021, and of course, the same platform which I am using it, and he will be, I'm sharing with him, and I will be the host, and he will be the guest. And the topic is inheritance under the Muslim law in one way, or we can say succession under the Muslim law. And on Sunday, 5/12/2021, and 10:10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Please see that the maximum number should be get benefit of it, the professor's lecture. So please try to canvas to the other people also to see that they will be get benefited, because my policy that I, you know it well, because if one person also going to get the benefit it, then I feel that 100% got the benefit of it. So that is my mission. And in the same way, we try to be present more as much as you can for the tomorrow lecture for this inheritance under the Muslim law, or we can say the succession under the Muslim law. Please post it to the people to whom you know, or to the post to the people to who are failed in the examination and who are going to write or sit for the examination on the 6th December 2021. At that instance, they will be get benefit out of it. With this, I would like to stop my today's lecture. Automatically, it is going to be stopped because time is up. I leave the meeting, end of the meeting for all, and